Hey everybody, Chiron here, and welcome to Season 3 of Banished. So I took a look at the comment sections, and it was pretty unanimous that everybody wanted another season. So here we are. One of my longtime viewers, Dead Inside, had made a couple of recommendations that I thought were pretty interesting, so we're going to go with those. We'll get Ogdenville going here. We are going to do a water world. So I haven't really done a water world before. Don't really know all of what it's about, but should be pretty fun. I haven't actually done one in kind of a series, just like 10 minutes of just checking out what it is. So it should be a first for me. Terrain size, we're going to leave it large. Climate, he said use tropical, but I think I'm going to go with marine instead for two reasons. One, it gives us a little bit more flexibility on crops. So like last season we were locked down to like 6 different crops. It was a little bit boring kind of trying to make that work. So we're not going to have a lot of land anyway, so we might as well kind of lift some of the restrictions on our crop choices. And marine, water world, water, marine, makes sense. Disasters we're going to turn off because I found those pretty annoying last season. I don't really think they added to the video or anything like that, so all it really did was, you know, the game would say, hey, you're not allowed to feed your villagers this year. Enjoy. So, which that definitely wasn't good. And I was thinking about starting conditions, and I think I came to the conclusion that I want to do Bayou Easy. The problem is I don't really like easy starting conditions. I like hard, just make it a little bit more difficult to start with. But I think we need to do easy for one big reason, and that's we start with rice. So the only other way to get rice is through RNG on the trader. For the trader just to magically come through one time with rice available for purchase. And I don't really like that since rice is going to be kind of one of our main sources of food to start with. We really want to make sure that we have rice available to us. We also get chickens, but I'm going to talk about that in just 1 second. So the other requirement was I had to click generate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to go with map C 949 987 878. Go ahead and click OK. And away we sail. I have had a little bit of a dry throat lately, so I'm going to be taking a couple breaks to get some water in me. Apologize for that, but not much I can do about it. I've had some sinus congestion going on and all kinds of other random things, so it's been kind of rough lately, but shouldn't be too bad. Alright, let's take a look at what we have here. So typically these maps, they have kind of one little land area to start you out with, and then they have a little bit of land out on the outskirts, but not really anything you can build on. This one's got, it's pretty mountainous, but we've got a nice chunk of land here we can work with. And then obviously we have tons of water. We do not have to worry about water. There's lots and lots of it. Alright, so it looks like we have a river coming through there, and then the mouth right there. Alright. So a couple things we need to do right away. First thing we need to work on is food production. So we need to get our rice planters in place, because once they eat all the rice, it's gone forever. So let's get those in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Get our dock pieces in here. These you have to place 3 at a time, so there's not really much you can do about that. So when you're placing the dock pieces, you want to make sure that they kind of get buried in the grass a little bit, just so that you make sure that they have enough pathing. That's going to be important so that they don't get stuck. The other thing that we need to do is get a couple homes up here, so we're going to do the dock homes. And I already forgot where our dock sections were. So it's 5. Alright, so we'll do dock home, which is 4. From the end, you go 1 more in, and then out 1, and there we go. So that should line up. We'll put that in there, and then it should be right there if I remember correctly. So then we have 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the end of there, and then that should do it. Alright, so that should all line up. We'll unpause here, get them moving a little bit. So the other thing that I want to mention was we do have these chickens here. I'm actually going to let these chickens die off on purpose. I think it's a little bit too easy when they give you livestock right away. You just get a lot of food for really no effort. So just I want to make it a little bit more challenging. So let's get all of our windows in place here so we can see what's going on. Alright. So we've got our rice filled in on these rice planters, so we should have a little bit of food coming in, which is good. So then even if they do eat all of the remaining rice, we'll still be in good shape. Alright, so let's get a couple things in place here. We're going to need some trees, so we'll do that there. We'll get a hunting cabin in place right away. And a gatherer's hut. So same start as we normally do. Let's get a couple of stockpiles in here. Put a nice big stockpile there. We'll put a smaller stockpile over there, just so they have some room. I turned you off. Alright, so the other things that we're going to need is a mine, or an iron ore and coal mine. So this one only requires 65 logs. This requires 18 lumber. Nice thing about the mine, though, is it allows you to have smelting capability directly within the mine, which is a good thing. So we'll build a mine, and we're just going to pause that. We're actually going to build 2 mines next to each other. Actually, we'll have to bring this one up a little bit so that it matches. There we go. So those should match up really nicely. And then we're just going to do a blacksmith right there, there, and then we'll just continue that on. These are going to get paused. And we're going to do a resource clear in this area. So that should get us prepared, and a couple of materials just to start off with. Oops, we do have to increase our builders so that we can get those going. And there we go. So we should be pretty good here. We do need a source of food coming in. So let's do a resource clear on food. Oh man, these guys are stuck. Why don't you build the dock sections, and then you won't be stuck anymore. There you go. Apparently they can walk through these rice fields, so that gave them the path they need. Whatever floats your boat. Alright. So these should start producing. Yeah, I guess we don't really need to watch them at all. They're going to do their thing regardless. Alright, so we have 38 out of 55 stone. We have, we need some iron ore yet. So this is actually iron bars, not iron ore. It's going to be a big distinction. There's a little bit of confusion last season, but iron ore is what you get from the fields here and what you get from the mines. You can't use those to make iron tools. You have to smelt it into iron bars before you can use it. The iron ore, like this, is specifically iron ore. You can only make rough tools out of it. Alright. So what we're going to do is we'll let that continue. Hopefully that will build pretty quick here. Looks like we need a little bit of rice to finish out the rest of these planters. And we are getting some rice production in, which is good. And we'll do a little bit more of a tree clear here so that we can get some more trees in, because pretty much everything that we're going to build is going to require trees. 30, 38, 50, 115, 60, 45. Everything requires logs in this building type. So that's going to be our main resource, and pretty much what we're going to use most of our land for is just generating trees for now. Alright, so it looks like we got a little bit of food production in, which is good. Should hopefully, and this is just typical rice, so we should be able to get these guys filled out here and generating. Hopefully we can get a little bit more food production out of those. Alright, so let's drop down our builders a little bit and get some more laborers going. So we have our 32 iron ore, need one more stone, and then we just need a bunch of logs. How's this guy doing? Still need more logs. Logs, logs, and more logs. So a couple ways we can do it. We have our forester here, and then we can also do a dock wood finder. So basically somebody just goes out and they find random logs, just floating in the water or something like that. So you can see it's a pretty wide area. Like, that is a big old area. Goes out and brings wood to the storage, making it available for nearby dock construction. I don't know if you actually need, like, if this is basically just a large radius version of the wood, of the forester, or if you can just build it right out in the middle of the water and they'll be able to get food, get wood for you. Don't know. We'll have to give it a try. Alright. So it looks like they finally built out to land, which is good. So they hopefully won't get stuck anymore. They've got one of these homes under construction, which is also good. So the other thing that I got from Dead Inside was the tiny shack. Never really used them before. They only have a population of 3. But the good thing is they're extremely cheap. And you can actually upgrade them to have 4 people in a home. So we're going to build a couple of those and see how they work. Should be pretty nice to just increase our population a little bit, because we need children, we need students. So, other buildings that we need to build right away. We need to get a schoolhouse, and I forgot the schoolhouse requires its own little section of the dock here. Let's see, so we have an herb grower, we have an herb mender, and we have a small school. So what we'll have to do is, I think I want to destroy these 2. We'll put in a single dock piece, and then we'll put the school in. Because the school comes with its own little dock section, so we don't need to make that separately. And then I'm going to put in our herb guy here and 2 more of those dock pieces to fill that out. And then that should all line up pretty good. And we got some people that are going hungry and freezing. So let's get our chopper in place here. Just gonna put it there. Not really any good spot for it. We're eventually gonna destroy it. Logs are still a situation, it seems like. It's getting building a little fast and furious here. So let's do a clear for food if we can. Let's kind of get all the food harvested in the area. How are these doing? 500, 600. Not bad. 200, those are a little bit newer. So these are doing pretty good. I think a field was doing about, with tooled but unskilled labor, I think does about 840, somewhere in that range. So if we can get 600, and we've got a little bit of the season left, so those should do pretty good, as long as they can kind of keep up. Right now we're backfilling a lot of the homes with food, so that's why it's out. But once they all get backfilled, then they should be good to go. And we still need logs. Ay, ay, ay. So many logs. Alright. Let's increase priority on this guy, just so that we get him built up. And we have one person without a home, not exactly sure why. We just built a bunch of homes with a 12-year-old and an 11-year-old. There we go. Come on, guys, you can share. So yeah, you can see the kids were just waiting to get out of their homes and go and make their own families, so definitely a good thing. How are we doing? So we're at half logs. Pretty good. The other thing that we could have done instead was this guy. So the Duck Workshop does fuel, basic clothing, rough tools, and rope for 45 logs. So that was the other option that we had if we didn't want to do the log, stone, and iron ore. But this is going to be a little bit more permanent solution, and it's right by our mines, so it'll work out just fine. Alright, so we have our forest lodge going in place, which is good. Got one more of these guys. Let's increase our builders a little tiny bit, so we can get those two buildings up and running, and then we should actually be in good shape. Last thing we need is our chopper. Actually, let's get that guy increased so that we can make sure that we have a steady supply of logs coming in. Max out our builders, because these are going to be really important structures. And during childbirth, you can't be dying during childbirth. As insensitive as that sounds, I need every single villager I have at my disposal. Alrighty, so we're almost good there. Drop that down by 3. Pump you up by 3. We'll get you finished. Then we should have the basic structure of our society all complete. Alright, we don't actually have any people starving, just this home is out of food. Alright. Almost good there. We still do have a good amount of tools, so we have 21 extra tools for everybody, but those are going to break pretty soon, and then these 21 tools are going to go away real quick. Alright. Yeah, I thought we had some dock pieces here. Are they just not building them? I guess I did not build a dock piece there. Alright. So we'll go rough tools for this guy and get him working. We'll increase priority on our chopper here so that we can make sure that we have a little bit of fuel for everybody. And how we doing on our resource clear? Doing pretty good there. Still not looking so great on the food. Just kind of strange. We're getting 840, 860. You know, we're only using 3,000 food, so we should be pretty good here. I guess all the homes are getting filled up yet, but alright. So let's drop that down and let's start working on make sure we have a good food supply coming through. Alright, chopper's almost finished up. There we go. Get one person working on that. And we'll cap it out at 50 fuel so that we don't waste too many resources on fuel. Alright. Good to use a few people to grow here, but can't really rush it. The other thing that Dead Inside had made a rule is I'm not allowed to use nomads. So we have to build our population the old-fashioned way, which is going to be pretty interesting. I've always used nomads. You know, it's a game mechanic. I have no problem using game mechanics, so it never seemed like cheaterinos or anything like that. But we can give it a try, see what happens. All right. So we got tools under production. Got 20 folk. Yeah, we're I think we're doing pretty good here. Pretty good. Do need our buildings to build here though. A couple more laborers would definitely be helpful for the gathering of resources. Alright, so let's get a couple other things in place here. Let's see what we need for roads. We don't really need a road there. I think they can actually just walk across that, maybe. I do not know exactly. Doesn't let me put a bridge on it, so... Oh, it does let me put a bridge on it. Alright, so that we may need a bridge to get them through there. And then up here... let's see, can I put a... I can. So I can put a road through there, so they should be able to make it without any issue. Yeah, so we don't really need any bridges here for now. We are low on food, though. That's weird. We should have a lot of food coming in. Interesting. Alright. So let's max out our food here. Oh, did I do 2 hunting cabins? Why did it do that? Oh, shoot. It must have done that thing where it sometimes when you click, it'll give you the audible click, but it won't actually select a new building. So I meant to do a gathering hut there. That's going to set us back a little bit, but not too bad. Alright. And what do we have for crops? So, I do have to apologize, everybody. I read all the forums. What people were saying made a whole lot of sense. You know, I always went with the plan of a 30 by 4 as the best crop field. I do have to apologize that I have given you misinformation, but I did my own testing for a change. I did my own testing on this, and I found out that the 30 by 5 vertical field is the way to go. So once this field goes in place, I'm actually going to show why it's so important. And you'll see pretty much right away that it's a lot better. So for all of you out there, you want to make sure you do 30 by 5 vertical fields. It's pretty amazing, I gotta say. So the old logic was the horizontal fields, the worker can go from one end to the other without having to make extra stops kind of to the end and then back and back, and kind of that wasted time going from one end to the other. But the vertical field, the 30 by 4 is the best because one worker can walk straight up the middle and he can reach 2 batches of rows without having to move. So they can do this entire field in the better part of like 4 seconds. It's fascinating to watch. But the 35.5, there is a little bit more walk time, but the amount of yield per farmer per second is, I think, a little bit better with the 5 wide field. It only takes them like an extra second or two to get that extra row, but you get a bigger yield, and one farmer can still do the entire field without running out of time in the season and all the crops dying off. So, yep, that's a good one. So it's early winter. We'll be able to see when spring rolls around, they'll be able to plant. They plant really fast too, which is the great thing. And then we'll be able to watch them harvest and show kind of what's going on with those. All right, so we're getting some stored food up here, which is great. Got some stored tools. What are we gonna do for clothing? We should probably work on that. So we get basic clothing, rough tools, rope, and fuel from the dock workshop. Let's go ahead and put a dock workshop in here. I don't really think it matters which direction we put it, so we're just gonna put it there. And again, 45 logs. Everything's going to require logs. Alright, let's get an actual gathering hut in here now. So we can start collecting some of those. Alright. So far, I think we're doing pretty good here. So we're still on winter. Just waiting for spring to roll around. Probably not gonna do an herb gathering place, which I think is here. Yep, so the herbalist is 30 and 12. The other option we have is this guy, just 45, is an herb grower. I think we're gonna do this one instead. Boom. And then right next to that we can put the herb mender. Actually, do we already have the herb grower? We have the herb mender already. So we just need the herb grower. Perfect. Late winter. All right. Low piece, stay dry corner, key wall, low stay dry corner. Yeah, I'm not too sure how many of these low pieces we're gonna use. They don't really serve any kind of function. They just look nice, I guess. You know, get these little stair units down to the water level and things like that. They kind of look cool, I guess. I might use them for longer stretches where we know we're not going to have any buildings. So early spring. Yeah, so you can see this lady, she has to do really small amounts of movement to kind of get all of the stuff planted. It's a lot more apparent. Actually, I need to speed up my game a little bit here. Forgot I only threw it on 5. So yeah. So she has to do really small movements to kind of get these all planted, which is really the key to it. If it's 4, they just walk up between these 2 rows and just do all the way out. But they still go pretty fast when it's 5 wide. Alright. And the last building we need to put in place before we go for today, we need to get a trading post in here. So where do I want to put this guy? I think we'll do it right here. Do we want to do it there? I think we'll do it here. We'll do it something where a little bit more out of the way. So they'll come up. I did do some testing. They actually go directly underneath all of these dock buildings. So anything that doesn't have a, actually even if it does have a footprint, so anything like these stilted homes, it'll go right underneath all of those. So we don't have to worry about building it in the area. They'll always be able to find their path over to our trading post, which is good. I wasn't sure if we'd have to like leave a little narrow canal so that they could kind of get through or something, but they'll find their way here. All right. Okay. So we're at 94% here. And watch this lady harvest this. It's I don't know how fast she'll be. She's uneducated, so she's gonna be a little bit slower. But as they get educated, they'll go considerably faster as well. Yeah, look at this lady go. And then if we don't do pickup, it's pretty nuts. So, but why does she keep having to go back to the barn? She should not be picking up. Yeah, like just look how fast that is. That is just insane speed. A regular field, the horizontal field, would probably be only about halfway done at this point, and she's already done. So 30 by 5 vertical field, definitely way to go. Definitely the way to go. Let's get our log limit up here. I did not save any of our limits. Thought we bumped all of these up. We did want to do fuel, we'll do 100. Alright, did that save? Food, 5,000. Yep, now we're good. Alright, so we've got our nice little town here. We've got plenty of space for children to come and start their own families, which is good. Eventually we will get them into dock homes, and then we can upgrade to a tiny house. And then that will increase those to 4-person residents, which are pretty good. So each family of 2 can have 2 kids that eventually move out into their own home and propagate that way. And then we'll have our 5-person homes that we can upgrade to 6 once we start getting ropes. And then so they can have a little bit bigger families, and we can grow and grow and grow and grow. And it should be all fancy. Still got to work on our food situation. That's going to be important before we get too many homes here. But I think what I'm going to do is kind of fill this area in with some fields so that we get just a little bit of food growing, and then we can always increase our food output out on the water. But yeah, so I think that's going to do it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. If you have any suggestions on what you want to see with this series or any of my series, please feel free to let me know. I love reading all of your comments, and I will try and get all of your comments kind of kind of interweaved throughout the series whenever I can. So, yeah. Definitely appreciate all the support on the series. If you enjoy, hit that like button, and yeah, I'll try and make as much content as I can for you, and we should be all good to go. So thanks for coming out, everybody, and I'll see you next time.